finish the sleeving. So,
hello, everyone that's joining us here tonight or watching the video later on afterward. This is the new rebranded Studio Squim. It used to be just under my name, David Keys, but thinking I might be adding a few different things to the channel and that kind of stuff. So I kind of wanted to have a little more broader name and a brand to go with it rather than just my name. So Studio Squim, we're live here. If you saw our tagline for the video, you'll see it's myself versus Nathan. We've played before, and it's been a great game, so I'm looking forward to tonight. We're starting a little late. We were both just putting the finishing touches on our decks, putting sleeves and shuffling and that sort of thing. And you'll also see we're joined by Guillaume. Guillaume is here. Remember, everything that we're doing, he's also doing, but at 4 a.m. in France. So
5 a.m.
5 a.m. Well, thank you very much for joining us early in the morning. Yes, Guillaume's going to help us as we play the game for any rules clarifications or anything like that. He'll be in the backstage, and I think we have a viewer here, which I believe is going to be Stephen. He is Alien Investigations, another channel there run by Stephen Arvidsson. He is viewing in the channel, so we'll keep an eye out for his comments. And I do have a few Season 4 cards in my deck, so we may call on him for some clarification. Although we've been doing playtesting since, what, March?
something like that.
Something like that. So hopefully we've ironed out any technical issues as far as the cards. There have been a couple occasions where my cards are outdated, so you might catch me on that. But otherwise,
You might catch me on it too, actually, because I defaulted back to the old playtest cards. I had the best intentions of printing out some nice versions that Stephen has uploaded to Facebook, but didn't have time for it. So
I was going to do that until I found my printer has run out of color ink, so everything would be different shades of pink and magenta and gray. So I decided not to do that. So we'll see how that plays out.
it would have made for an interesting experiment. Rainbow cards.
Yeah.
Difficult to read, though. Difficult to read.
And it takes a while to print and cut everything, so might as well do it when it's all.
It does. No one ever tells you how much time it takes to actually make an expansion.
Yeah.
And that's after Stephen did the hard work for us. So
Yeah, Stephen did all the heavy lifting. We're just having fun with it after the fact, right?
Yeah.
So the decks today are going to consist of the Premier, the Truth expansion, 1013. We're going to have, double David there for a second.
Yeah, nobody wants that, dude.
1013 promos, maybe a Gen Con card or two.
Maybe a Gen Con
Who
card.
knows?
No killer cards. And we're playing an advanced game, advanced rules.
Yep.
Stephen and I did a tutorial a while back for basic game. That was weird to revert back to that when you're so used to playing advanced. Basic was very haphazard. He had to do a bunch of edits where we had to correct ourselves on a few things just because we were so used to paying for everything and all those different nuances that come with the advanced game. Once you play the advanced game, you can never go back. It's just not the same.
And do you think for someone who has never played the game, if you were to show it to someone, would you start with basic or would you start with advanced?
My personal opinion, it depends. Like if it's a seasoned player who is familiar with collectible card games or trading card games, they've played some in the past, they'll pick it up pretty quick. I would probably just go advanced and we'll just kind of fumble through it. But if it's a new player, someone new to the genre, I would probably start basic, just play 1 or 2 games just so they get familiar with it and be like, okay, training wheels are off. It's,
Yeah.
you know, let's play a real game so you can actually, you know, get the
Yeah.
flavor for deck building and strategy and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the full experience. Yeah.
Stephen is concurring here. He says, I agree, David. If they've never played a CCG before, start with the basic. Yeah, but me coming from board gaming and card gaming, I felt okay just kind of skipping it. I read some of the rules. I was like, this isn't what I remember from 1997. This is boring. But yeah, if I were trying to get my wife into it or something, we definitely start basic.
Yeah, because if I remember correctly, when you play adversaries, you just, well, obviously you don't pay for them, and it's just like what, 1 round of long range and 1 round of close range, no combat cards. It's just like basically you play the adversary and you know that your agents mostly go to the hospital.
Yeah, and I think Stephen might correct me on this, and I don't have the rule book close by, but I think you're like limited in the number of you can't just play adversary the whole time, which would end a game pretty quickly if you drew the right hand.
All right. Let's cook.
You got your X file chosen and everything there, Nathan?
I do. It's right here.
There it is. All right. Well, let's get started. We've already told everybody the rules and the parameters. So here we go. Stephen is giving me a hand here. He says only 3 cards allowed during the investigation phase.
All right.
That takes all the fun out of the cat and mouse, the back and forth. But I digress. Nathan is ready. I'm ready. Guillaume, we're going to send you back to the green room. If you have anything you need to add, just give us the sign. All right, boss?
All right.
Bye, Guillaume.
All right, let me just rearrange the windows here real quick. There we go. All right, draw our 7, and then we'll decide who goes first. Or we should probably decide who goes first. Right? First. Begin at the beginning, as Mark Twain would say. I have a token here. It is one of my wound tokens. International Red Cross symbol. We'll call that heads, and then the other side is a regular dime. We'll call that tails. Want to call it in the air, Nathan?
For sure. Heads.
Heads it is. It was an easy one.
Finally got one of those. So I think I will go first as the active player. You know what? I'm going to need a checklist. We'll be right back.
Okay. It'll give me a chance to review my cards here. Take advantage of this downtime here as Stephen is joining us in the comments. And I do want to encourage people, if you're enjoying this particular broadcast, definitely go to the Alien Investigations channel, subscribe, do all the YouTube things. He does a great job of editing his videos, gameplay, music, graphics, all the kind of stuff that makes it a lot of fun to watch.
David, I just so happen to have an old checklist here. And I think does Arctic Worm sound familiar?
It does.
Yeah. Okay.
Couldn't resist, could you?
I couldn't. Pulled that out of the drawer and all these good memories flooded back. All right.
All right. I'll tell you what, I'll get started. Before we really dig in, I'll just very quickly, because my camera sits a little higher than most, it's kind of hard to see which players are on my team or agents are on my team. So I'll just quickly introduce my team. First will be Detective Manners. After that, Agent Henderson. We also have Agent Dana Scully, Agent Nancy Spiller, and to round it out, Dr. Charles Burke. This is my experimental CSI deck. We're going to see how I do with the sciences and medical and criminal investigation.
Yeah, so we're playing with a lot of the same goods here. I also have Burke and Spiller, but I am. Do you have Scully?
I do have Scully. She
Okay.
the head of my team there, and I
There
see
we
you
go.
have, Scully as well.
Yeah, so I have subbed out Manners and is that Kosov?
On my team, I don't have
Yeah.
cost. I've got
Oh, who's?
Manners, Burke, Spiller, Agent Henderson, and Dana Scully.
Oh, Henderson. Okay, so I've subbed out Manners and Henderson for Clyde Bruckman, who's going to add a all-important evidence collection and occult investigation skills to the.
What's his effect?
So he gets to remove a token. Look at your hand and remove one of the cards from the game. It's brutal.
It is brutal.
I can't wait. All right, so we're at briefing. I will draw my card for the turn. I'm going to create resources. So we're going to start out. We've got Spiller with 1, Bruckman with 1, Scully with 2, and Burke with 1. So 5. It's going to put me at 10 resource points. And I will buy 2 cards. It'll put me at 8 resource points.
Okay. My turn to sell and buy, I assume, as I'm looking through my cards here.
Yeah, and while you do that, I'll pay 2 to put me at 6, and I'll play Friend in the FBI. So that card's going to get 10 tokens on it. And I'm going to be able, I think I can do it now.
Yes, yep.
Yeah, so I'll just get the 2 back right away and go down to 8 tokens on it. Oh, here's my good dice. So Friend in the FBI has 10 tokens on it, and each briefing you can take up to 2 tokens and add it to your resource pool. Pretty good.
This is a time when I wish you had called Tails, because this is a great investigation hand, but a terrible conspiracy hand.
Well, I like to hear that.
Yeah, I bet. Let's see here. All right, this is going to suck, but grid pattern search for 2. And no, I like that one. Search warrant for 2. So I'll get 4 conspiracy. And I do need to buy a few. So I'm going to buy 3. And I will turn back to you.
All right, so no healing, requisition, deployment. We'll send all our agents up to the field. And why don't I Bruckman you right away, David?
All right. Here we go. I've got search warrant.
Which is you can pay 5 and have me discard 2 cards of your choice. Is that right?
Yeah, examine your opponent's hand. Your opponent must discard 2 cards from their hand, my choice.
Active card, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
I've got Lieutenant Terry Wilmer as a witness. Got car troubles. I also have a friend in the FBI.
Nice.
Brother Martin is attracted to you, an adversary.
Can you tell me his activators?
His activators are conspiracy and affiliation site.
Ooh. Okay.
And then I've got 3 sites. I have positron emission tomography lab, which is computer or medical and affiliation or result question. I have Newark, New Jersey, which is evidence collection and method. And Chinatown, San Francisco, that is medical and result.
Okay. So, what does car trouble do?
Car trouble. Don't worry about it.
Don't
You
worry.
don't want to take that one. Okay. Play on a team of 3 or more agents moving to the same site. The team may only send 2 agents to that site, owning
Okay.
player's choice. Any
Okay.
extra agents remain in the team, but may not contribute their skills to any checks this turn. In addition, playing this card will prevent the use of the evasive maneuver card by this team this turn.
Okay. Wow. You do have some good stuff there for the investigation. Can you tell me your site's characteristic question again?
Sure.
Sorry.
That's no problem. Positron emission tomography lab that asks, it's a multi-site. It asks either affiliation or result.
Okay.
Got Newark, New Jersey, which is a method question. And Chinatown, which is result.
Okay. You know, I think we're just gonna pitch friend in the FBI.
No. Now I don't have any friends. All right,
Yeah.
that is off the playing field.
And then I will, for case assignment, I'll use a Spiller's token to pay 1, then I'll pay 1 more and go down to 7 for a Mahan Propulsion Laboratories. That's a computer 4+ and motive. And I'm also going to play I'm going to pay 1, go down to 6 and play. Oh God, Stephen, why would you? Monongahela Medical Center, whatever that is, Pittsburgh, PA. It is a multi-site. It's medical or evidence collection 5 and up, and a motive or method question.
Motive or method. What was the first one?
The first one was a motive, computer and motive.
Okay, well. Stephen says Tongue Twister, Pennsylvania. I think we should have changed the name to the.
Nice.
All right. I suspect you're going to divide your team up, and car troubles is not going to help me.
That would be
no blood.
100% accurate. So we're going to go to the investigation phase. I'm going to send Bruckman and Burks over to Computersville. And Scully and Spiller are going to head to Tongue Twister, PA. So we'll do the computer first. So computer 4 plus motive, I have currently computer 4 there. I think we're going to roll, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I got nothing to stop him.
So it's a motive question. Let's go. Is your motive survival?
It is not.
All right. I'm going to take a moment and actually check these because I think I'm going to get the next one too. So
You will get the next one. Yeah.
yeah, I want to know. Oh, no Arctic worm this time.
Sorry to disappoint you. Wouldn't that be
Yeah.
great if it was, huh?
Yeah. I have on occasion gone back to back with the same X file. Right. I think I got all the survivals here.
And just out of curiosity, was your X file randomly chosen, or is there some method to your madness?
So I grabbed a stack of cards when I was looking for something, and this X file was in it. So it was, in a sense, random. All right, so that site's gone. Then we're going to do, I should probably have my Bureau deck on screen in some capacity here.
Well, at least I know you're not hiding something up your sleeve.
Yeah, right. And my hand, too. Here it is. So the Tongue Twister PA is going to be a medical 5. I have medical 7, I think. So we'll hit that. And let's see, it's a motive or method. I might as well stick with motive here. How about control for a motive?
It is control.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Mm.
What a first turn.
Another short one tonight, probably.
Well, you never know. All it takes is a few good questions on your part, too. And okay. All right. And my turn is ended with 7 cards in hand.
I have 7 as well, so no discard.
Over to you.
All right, then I will draw my free card to start. Interesting. I collect my res, and now Manners is 0, Henderson is 1, Spiller is 1, Burke is 1, so that's 3, and then Scully is 2 for 5 total. That takes me up to 10. And let's see. No, I'm gonna hold on to my my points. So I'll turn to you to sell and buy.
All right. I think I'll hold on to mine too.
Okay. And we'll move then to healing, and no cards have been played and no combat has occurred to cause any need for healing, so we'll skip that. Requisition, I will not be requisitioning anything this round. I gotta move this a little closer. Deployment. I am actually going to move all of my agents to the field. And moving to case assignment. Going to play Newark, New Jersey. That is evidence collection and method. And I'm also going to play the positron. Am I reading that? Positron emission tomography lab. That is the computer or medical 5+, and I ask either affiliation or result.
All righty. Did you pay for those?
Not yet.
Okay.
Newark, New Jersey is a monosite, so that's 2. And then the tomography lab is a multi-site, so that's 1. So I'll take 3 off. And I turn to you if you have any. Well, actually, before I turn to you, I'm going to play search warrant for 2 to examine my opponent's hand. You must discard 2 cards from your hand. Oh, Guillaume, I think I may have the cost wrong on this. Hold on a second.
So the cost of the card is actually 5.
5, so I need to take another 1, 2, 3 off. And
And
update.
what's the rest of the game effect, just to be sure that you have the latest version?
It says examine your opponent's hand. Your opponent must discard 2 cards from their hand, your choice.
Yes, that's correct. So only the cost 5. Yeah.
Okay, so I have paid the appropriate cost. I'm down to 2. Thank you, Guillaume.
Yeah. So I have 2 Father McHughs,
Mhm.
which are 2 healing cards. I have 3 sites. Strughold Mining, which is a sciences result site. Baltimore, which is a sciences or evidence collection and method or result site. And the positron one you just played.
Okay. I'm
And
going to
then
get rid of
I have 2. Yeah, you may want to wait for the adversaries, David. I have Vasily Peskov as an adversary. He keys in on a affiliation site, and then Gulag Commandant, who is played in conjunction with the government adversary. That's what we got.
Mhm. Let's get rid of both of those adversaries, please.
Yeah. I think that was a fine choice.
All right, as that's out of the way, and I now know that you don't have any bluffs, but did you want to,
I will not bluff you.
you're
No.
not going to try to fake me out there? Okay. Then we'll go to investigation, and I'm going to go with Spiller and Burke to the tomography lab, and then Manners, Scully, and Henderson to Newark, New Jersey.
Yep.
And I would like to do the tomography lab first. Oh, unless you have anything else you're going to play.
No, I got nothing, David.
Yeah.
You're gonna get 2 questions.
Okay, so I'm going to use the computer skill 5 plus and ask an affiliation question. Burke has 4 computer and Spiller has 1, which makes 5. So I just squeak by on that one.
Yep.
And for affiliation, I'm going to ask, is your affiliation occult?
It is not.
Okay. All right, and then moving on to Newark, New Jersey. This is evidence collection 4 plus. I have Scully has 2. Henderson, or excuse, yeah, Henderson has 3 for 5, and then 1 on manners. I only need 4 plus. Anything you want to play there?
You got it, my friend.
All right. So, method question: is your method knowledge?
It is not.
Not. Okay. Very quickly, just burn through these. I have yet to get past my aversion and use Yost's online checklist, but
There's something satisfying about scrawling them off on the sheet.
true. Oh yeah, Spiller could have paid for that site, but that's okay. It was just one, and there'll be plenty of opportunities later on. Stephen,
Well, that's a
mentioned
little presumptuous, isn't it?
But that having been said, I don't have any other cards that I'm going to play, and I've got 5, so I have no discard.
All right, and I am at 5 as well. So, go to my turn. I'll draw a card for the turn. We'll get Spiller back her token. Generate 5 res for my agents, which will put me at 11. And I'll draw 3 cards. Actually, 4 cards. And go down to 7. Because I've actually got my 2 tokens from friend in the FBI. That'll take me back up to 9. So 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. And over to you.
All right. Oh, I hate to do this. I'm going to discard or sell Lieutenant Terry Wilmer. He is 4, which puts me up to 10, but I am going to buy 2. This takes me down to 8. And back to you, sir.
All right. So no healing. No requisition. We're in deployment. I'm going to leave them all in the field. And let's see here. Give me one moment while I figure out what I can play.
Of course.
All right. So I'm going to play 2 sites during the Case of Simon phase. And use Spiller's Token to play Baltimore, Maryland, which is a Sciences 5 or Evidence Collection 5, and a Method or Result site. And then I'm going to pay 2, go down to 7 to play. Sure. Yeah, to play Cape Cod, which is a Sciences 4 and affiliation site.
Okay. No bluffs.
Okay. So we are going to form some new teams here and send send Spiller and Bruckman to Baltimore, and I'm going to send Scully and Burke to Cape Cod. And we'll do Baltimore first. So they're going to do the evidence collection check, 5 and up, and they currently have evidence collection of 5.
And is that the affiliation site? Or is it the other one?
It's the other one. This is Method or Result.
Okay. Then I have nothing to hinder your investigation.
All right. So is your result death?
It is not.
Okay, so that brings us down to 4. So I am going to take a guess at it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Is your X-File Lucas Henry?
It is not.
Oh, okay. So I think you get to fire a result question back at me.
Yes. Is your result manipulation?
It is not. All right, and Baltimore's gone. So now we'll go to Cape Cod whenever you're ready.
Okay, just a couple here to cross off. Yeah. Okay, all caught up. Still quite a few on my end. All right. And who's at this site? Burke and Scully?
Burke and Scully. That's it.
Well, I'm going to play, since this is an affiliation site, Brother Martin is attracted to you and target Dana Scully.
You're going to have to remind me what he does.
Yeah, the keywords are adversary, alien, and creature. Activators are conspiracy and affiliation site. This card does not initiate combat. Place 3 damage tokens on any agent in the investigating team. The damaged agent must be moved to the hospital immediately and heals at half the normal rate. The agent may not leave the hospital until all damage is healed and cannot be removed using other cards such as Crash Cart, First Aid, etc. This costs 8, so I'm going to take that. That takes my conspiracy down to 0.
So am I understanding right then that healing cards will not work on her? Is that essentially what that's saying? If she's
I want to say it's like they would work but not get her out of the hospital. Let me bring in Guillaume here, and maybe if Stephen is with us here. Guillaume, did you catch that question?
Yeah, so I'm reading Brother Martin again because I think, Nathan, you want to use Father McHugh. Yes.
that's what I was thinking.
So I think that it just says that the agent cannot be removed from the hospital using other cards, but they specifically say Crash Cart and First Aid, which basically heal 1 damage token. So to me, it reads like you cannot use any keyword healing cards, because basically the 2 cards that they use as examples allow you to have the same effect as Father McHugh, basically. So yeah, I don't think you'll be able to use that one.
All right.
And I think if there was a card that said maybe allows you to remove your agent from the hospital immediately, that one would not work either, because they specifically say that they cannot be removed using other cards. So, which is why I think Brother Martin is 8.
Right. He costs enough.
Yeah.
So David, he sends Scully to the hospital, even if like he only deals 3 damage.
She deals 3 damage, but she goes to the hospital regardless of how much damage, and heals at half the normal rate.
All right. So I think in that case, now that we have some rules clarification, I'm going to X Brother Martin.
All that time.
Well, it was a decision to save it for something else, but
I suppose. Thank you, Guillaume, for your help.
You're welcome.
Yeah, but if Scully's gonna, I mean, essentially, Brother Martin says she spends the next 3 turns in the hospital, and there's nothing you can do about it, right? So, yeah, I think that's a little like you said, she's the key to my deck. So. Okay, so yeah, we'll X him, and then do you have other cards to play?
I do not. Go ahead and ask your question.
All right, so this is an affiliation question. And the answer is pretty much going to dictate where this goes. So is your affiliation primordial?
Yes, it is.
All right. Is your X-File BJ Morrill?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
That
was quick.
Yeah, that was like a half hour.
All right. We could almost do another one.
Congratulations, Nathan.
What's that, Guillaume?
I said congratulations. Yeah, that was a game. Yeah.
Thank you. It all stemmed from the first from the lucky guess on the first turn. So.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's a charmed checklist that you have. Fortunately,
it could be. I'm gonna send this one to you so you can burn it, David.
Oh.
This one's the bane of your existence right here.
Yeah, Stephen also says congratulations, Nathan. Yeah, that was a quick one. That was kind of anticlimactic. I was waiting all week for this.
It was.
You guys investigated almost 2 sites during a few turns, so that helped get the investigation going a lot faster.
Well, so
Yeah.
actually, you got one turn, right, David?
Yeah, and I
And
asked 2 questions. Yeah.
Yeah, and I got two. Both turns, I asked 2 questions. So yeah, that was an incredibly quick game.
Yeah, so we both had strong investigative hands, but not good conspiracy hands, I guess.
Yeah. Well, you burned my only 2 conspiracy cards, so
Hmm.
you could have your way with me.
And
Stephen wants to comment too. Too many multiple site investigations this game. Slow your roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the name of the game is to get to that X file, I guess. But yeah, it takes the fun out of it when it's. I'm used to like 2-hour games, 3-hour games, not 30-minute games.
Yeah. It is. I mean, to that end, this deck is very like investigation heavy. So I mean, I have like a small number of conspiracy cards, but the majority of the deck is investigative stuff, active player stuff. So, but yeah, if you want to play again, I'm game for it.
I think I'm going to have to call it early, even though I'm the guy in the time zone, the earliest time zone. It's only 9 o'clock, but I'm also fairly old.
Youth, age is a mindset, David. Age is a mindset.
Oh,
David,
Stephen thinks that might be a tournament level deck you have there. Might want to preserve that card list.
I don't know. It worked out, but I don't feel like we got to see the real. I mean, it's not a tournament level deck for real. I have like, I just wanted to get some Scully stuff going in here, so I've got like Queequeg in this deck. Like, there's no reason Queequeg should be in any tournament deck, you know. Just wanted to have fun with it. So.
Oh, we disappointed Yost. He just got here and it's already over.
Oh man, his X file was BJ Morrow. Just to jump to the finale. Although I guess I just ruined it if you wanted to watch it.
Got spoiler alert. I'm gonna have to edit this video out. Huh?
Oops.
I had too many options. I don't know that I'd even have a guess on yours. That's just for the fun of it. I don't know. In lieu of last night's game with Guillaume and Stephen, I'm going to ask: is your X file the Swarm?
Thank you.
It is not. That is one of my favorite episodes, though. Darkness Falls. It is actually Leonard.
Oh, Leonard.
Twisted, weird demon baby thing. Congenital twin. Yeah.
David, you know, when you asked your method question, you actually asked if the method was knowledge, which is a motive question.
Oh God, I didn't even catch that.
Oh wow.
So actually, Nathan, when you said no, actually, you could have it. Really was a no. So
he did answer truthfully.
Yeah.
And
I really did not look outside of. You asked if it was method, right? Was your method knowledge? Yeah, I didn't even actually look at motive or realize that was a mistake. So I'm glad it's no, because I would feel really bad if he actually did have motive knowledge as a motive. So.
Oh well, it's a good thing I lost then, so we can at least say it was the ends justify the means. No, that's not the right phrase, but
no,
the right player won on that, since I asked an illegal question.
Yeah, I'm surprised that more people don't play Clyde Bruckman. I mean, his game effect is crazy good.
I think it's because he costs 5, which maybe Yeah. If it was a 4 agent like Hostin, maybe it would be in more teams.
Yeah. His skills are great though.
His skills are great. I consider him a heavy hitter, like Mulder and Scully. Just too expensive to have too many of those types of agents. Although Guillaume, you got away with Mulder, Scully, and
Krychek, yeah.
Oh, jeez, yeah. I actually debated Mulder and Scully together for this deck, and I decided it was just too much.
It's too expensive, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's because since we were playing with the training cards, so that allowed me to give Scully one in Alien Investigation, which kind of helped, and one for Krychek in Sciences. But yeah, I really always wanted to have a Mulder and Scully team. But when you do that, I guess they really complement each other, but they are not strong in one particular skill. So you can investigate monocytes, but you do need to find the right agents to go with them.
Right. So Scully can investigate medical. Mulder can investigate alien, right?
Yeah, and together they can investigate criminal or other sites. But it did work out okay last night. Well, except for the final question, which I got wrong. So.
Oh, no more spoilers. No more
spoilers. And actually, during last night's game, we had 2 questions. The first one is, Steven played Detective Thompson on one of my sites. So it's play to change the site prerequisite to Bureaucracy 3+. And I countered that with Spying Mission. And the text is, if the team makes a subterfuge 4+ skill check, it may use this card to immediately negate any one card that requires them to make a non-combat skill check. And the question we had was, does Detective Thompson, it changes the side prerequisite, but does it make you pass a skill check or not?
My vote is no.
That was Steven's opinion, because you have cards like Computer Access Denial, which specifically says force an opponent to make a computer skill check. My point was, since Thompson changes the side prerequisite, in effect, you have the opportunity to make the skill check. You could play a witness to make that skill check. So you still have to make a skill. You still have the opportunity to make a skill check.
You do, but my read on the card is it modifies the site itself. So the card doesn't force you to make, like when you make that skill check, it is considered the site skill check and not the Detective Thompson skill check. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So last night,
that's how I look at it.
So Steven allowed it, but I had another option. I could have grid pattern search and have Langley to negate it. So in the end, it did not change anything, but yeah, we wanted to make sure. And the other question was, so you have blue plate spatial, and it's flip over the next card of your bureau deck, and if the card is playable this turn, you may do so for 0 CP or RP. And the question was, what if the card that you flip over is a card like Paul Mossinger, which basically the cost is X? And you usually pay like 1 CP or up to 9 CP to modify the skill check. So what would you guys do in that situation where the cost is just X?
David, any ideas? I'm looking up card text.
I kind of have to have the card in front of me in order to make an opinion. What was the card again? Maybe I can find it real quick.
So it's cards like Paul Mossinger, like Dr. Berube. So bluff cards, which basically leave you the opportunity to pay from 1 to 9 CP to modify the skill check to decrease it -1.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Oh, Guillaume, we've got some puzzling questions here.
Yeah.
I think
because you also have cards like Alien Discretion, which is X+1, or you have explosion, which is X times 2.
And I'm going to need to look at Steven's spreadsheet here to get the card text of explosion, because I don't want to give an answer that doesn't apply to all of those. It's got to be the same for everything.
So the situation, it did not come up during our game, but Steven thought about it afterwards, and we figured we might as well settle something before that situation arrives.
Right. So explosion says...
Oh, explosion is 2x. Yikes.
Yeah. X equals the number of conspiracy point cost cards discarded. So in other words, if you discard 2 cards, it's going to deal 4 damage to every agent on that team. And let's see. Look up Blue Plate Special. So the text of Blue Plate Special is: play this card and flip over the next card on your bureau deck. If that card is playable this turn, you may do so for 0. Oh, I could legitimately go either way with this one. I mean, you could play it for 0 and those cards would have essentially no effect. Or, I mean, maybe the answer is something in between. So you can play the card for 0, but for example, with explosion, it lets you perform a different thing to create X. So for explosion, it's discard conspiracy cards, right?
Yes, but you do have, like, for instance, if you discard 2 conspiracy cards, you have to pay 4 in order to play explosion, because you have to pay X equals the number of cards that you discard, and you have to pay twice that amount.
So if could you say you could play explosion for no discards?
No, I don't think you could do that. I think, however, I think any interpretation of it, you have to still discard the cards.
I think you discard the cards, and usually you would have to pay 2, 4, or 6. So basically, do you pay that amount, or is the card basically free since it was used with Blue Plate Special?
Probably discard the cards, but not pay the conspiracy, right?
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think that's what we thought. But the biggest question was on cards like Paul Mossinger and Dr. Berube, where you actually have the option, you either pay 1 or you can pay up to 9 CP. So since the card is free, could you say, well, okay, consider I'm paying 9 CP and it's free?
Yeah, pay the max and it's free anyway, right?
Yeah. What we kind of, agreed on, not agreed, but my thinking was, as long if the cost of the card is X, then the Blue Plate Special does not apply. It can only apply on cards with a fixed cost. As long as it's X, the X should not be put into consideration.
Since it kind of technically doesn't have a cost, really.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to think on that one.
Yeah.
Because I mean, for simplicity, like we get this in law all the time, right? Is it better to have a legal test that looks at all of the circumstances, or is it better to just have a bright line rule that resolves 99% of the cases fairly, even if it works poorly in, maybe one or two instances, right?
Yeah.
We do
Like-
have Stephen sounding in here too. Quoting him, my take is that Blue Plate is a game of chance. So if Paul Mossinger comes up on a Blue Plate special during Conspiracy, so the reward for that chance should be factored in. Not sure what he's saying there.
So I think he's saying that if you want it to be 9, you can have it be 9, but
Yeah,
pay
you
0
can
for it.
just go the max and not have to pay anything for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just kind of essentially hit the lottery. That one.
I think
mean,
there's for every. I think it could go both ways. So
Yeah. I think my just gut preference would be for X cards. It's like, okay, you can play it for 0, but if there's still some other effect that you have to do for it to mean anything, you still have to do it. So for example, on Explosion, you can play it for 0, but you still have to discard the Conspiracy cards to settle on an amount of damage.
yeah, on that one, yeah, I agree on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, for Mossinger, you can play it for 0, but it does nothing. So if you wanted it to have an effect, you would also need to pay the Conspiracy points. I think that's where my gut leads, is you still have to pay the costs for it, or at least most of the costs for it if there's an additional effect.
And you also have Alien Discretion, which basically allows you to negate face-down bluffs, and the cost is X plus 1, so X is the number of face-down bluffs. So I think in that case, you would not pay the plus 1, but you would still pay the X depending on how much sites, how much bluffs there are on the site. That's another one where it's...
Yost is sounding in saying, I agree with Guillaume. Ignore X cards.
So that's the bright line rule that X cards you do not benefit from. I'm just looking up Alien Discretion here quick to see how that reads.
Yeah. And Blue Plate Special was created after bluffs like Dr. Berube and Paul Mossinger, so I don't think they factored those cards in, even though they already existed before Blue Plate Special.
Right.
I don't know, if we're putting in votes, I'm kind of on Stevens with this, that you would get away with Mossinger. Like you could just say, well, I'm gonna do the maximum effect, and it's free.
I mean, I'm fine either way because I think there's an argument to be made for both cases. And we don't have to decide anything tonight. Just it might be good to know what we would do in those situations. Because I agree. If I'm the Conspiracy player and I draw Paul Mossinger, then I would want to make the maximum damage. But if I'm the investigating player, not so much.
This is a good one to go in our frequently asked questions page when it comes up.
Yeah. So, I see the merit in. Really, we have 3 answers here. We have X means whatever you want it to mean. We've got the middle position that I talked about, which is X means 0, but you can still pay for stuff. And then there's the X means nothing. You get nothing out of it position. And I think they all have some merit. What a weird game.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. You don't have to settle it tonight, I guess. But if it comes up, since David and Stephen are both on the X means whatever you want it to mean bandwagon, we'll just do that for now. How's that sound?
All right, so get ready if I draw Paul Mossinger against one of you guys. It would be an automatic -4.
Yeah. So now I'm just going to stack my deck with blue plate specials and X cards because why not?
Yeah.
Steven says, I don't use those cards too often because we often don't know what sort of sites my opponent will bring to the game. Odds of it coming up are slim.
Yeah.
So,
In defense of those bluffs, though, they do, I think, each apply to like 3 different types of sites. So,
yeah.
you know, at the end of the day, it's probably like a 50-50 chance that your opponent's going to have one of those skills on a site. Now, how do those interact with multi-sites? So if you have
I think it's a skill check, not so you have to specifically say, okay, it's a multi-site, but I'm investigating, let's say, sciences, and so at that point you can play the bluff.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Another conundrum we can thank Next Games for.
Yeah.
But that would be maybe a good question to ask to one of the game designers at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, if
These
that
are-
opportunity presents itself again.
If they actually remember what
Well,
they.
here's the real trick, right?
Right.
Yeah.
At this point, we're, what, 30 years removed from that?
Yeah, I think they
25.
yeah, 20, well, 26 now, I think. But yeah, something like that. So yeah, imagine that someone asking you something about your work 25 years ago.
Did you guys ever see the classic Saturday Night Live with William Shatner? It's probably about 15, 20 years ago or something, but he shows up to a convention and he's like the guest speaker at a Star Trek convention. And when he gets up there, all these guys, everybody's dressed in like Star Trek uniforms and they got the Spock ears and all the goofy stuff. And they start asking him, they ask him, what was the combination to your safe in episode 27? And he's like, I just don't know about that. And then someone asks him again about something just like ridiculously obscure, and finally he just gets mad and starts going off on all these people telling him that you need to get a life and he points to this one guy, he's like, have you ever kissed a girl? And the guy just kind of like, puts his head down. I didn't think so, So I can see these Next Games guys are like, hey, what about if this card comes up and then this one gets played? What do you do? Just be like, it's just a card game. It's 30 years.
Yeah. They haven't thought about it in years, let alone played it. Yeah, you're that I felt that one, the William Shatner get a life thing, because I was a big Star Trek convention kid.
Oh, I was too. Yeah. And you get weirdos like that.
You do. It's funny, even I recognized that they were weirdos as a kid. The adults who were asking
kind of stand out. When I was at one Star Trek convention, one guy got up to the microphone and he asked, I want to say it was Marina Sirtis that played Deanna Troi. He asked her, what do they do with all the poop on the Enterprise? And she was like, I don't know. And one of the convention hosts came up, it's like, there's a guy on the very bottom, the last deck on the bottom of the Enterprise with a phaser. Just vaporizing all the poop. That's what they do. The guy was like, okay.
Yeah.
Everybody's laughing.
Oh man, they're just so detached from reality to think that Marina Sirtis of all people would have an answer to that.
Well, and the guy was dead serious too. I mean, it wasn't like he wasn't trying to like get a laugh out of anybody. He wanted to know what happens when you flush the toilet on the Enterprise.
This dude has just been stewing about this for.
He's been thinking about the original series,
He's just been waiting for his chance to ask literally anyone associated with the next generation what happens. Oh man, it's good.
But yeah, I guess it can happen when you for us with the X-Files CCG, it's something that most people don't think about anymore. But for us, it's very current because we are working on the cards and playing the game. So we still have those questions which we would have asked 25 years ago, and maybe we could have gotten an answer then. But now it's just too late. And maybe I don't even think that for some of our questions, I don't know if even 25 years ago they would have had the answer.
Unfortunately, I don't think they would. Some
Yeah.
of these things, you wonder if they just weren't paying attention or, didn't keep the older cards in mind as they came up with new ones. And again, I always bring up the keywords, the keywords that go nowhere kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike and Matt's last guest, Duncan, I think was the, if I remember right, was the game designer. Yeah. I mean, frankly, he seemed much more preoccupied with like getting licensing approval through Fox than he did with like the game design itself. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, he may have been more big picture.
Yeah. And on a certain level, they were just like, if it passed through, they were just happy and said, okay, we're good here. Like it didn't want to tempt fate and go back and say, oh, we need to change a keyword on this. And then, have Fox and all of the actors potentially reject it even after they had approved it.
Yeah, it's almost like they had to cross their fingers with every single card.
Yeah, which is wild. I wonder if game design is still like that, or if everybody's still. Well, although I guess that was mostly just because Chris Carter, it sounds like, wanted his,
True.
My understanding was that he was fiercely protective of
Yeah.
it was his baby from the beginning, so he wanted to be extra careful about it. Whereas, like Star Trek, probably not so.
Oh
much.
God, yeah, you could. Well, I mean, even for Star Trek, you look at they were cranking out like novels, for example. There are just mountains of Star Trek novels, right? And the reason they can do that is because they didn't consider any of that stuff like canon. So, unlike Star Wars, the books like had no part in the universe. They were just kind of their own thing. Whereas Star Wars was like trying to maintain this very tight, like, if they put it in a book, it was official Star Wars canon.
Right.
And of course, now all that's by the wayside with Disney when Disney took over, because they've retconned everything. But
Disney.
I know.
Don't get me started.
Don't poke the bear, David.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a guy who it's his actual job or probably a team now, to manage the timeline for Star Wars and keep it as consistent as possible. I think they were too scared to tell George Lucas no. But yeah, the books, the comics, everything had to kind of work together.
Yeah.
With Star Wars up until when Disney removed a lot of the expanded universe, or all of the expanded universe.
Which I'm sorry, I have no idea how someone can maintain that consistency, across a universe that large.
At this point, no. I mean, when we're talking the original trilogy, and maybe comic books and books, maybe you could do that. You'd have just one giant wall in your office that's all Post-it notes.
Or like the It's Always Sunny, Charlie stringing things.
Yeah, with the yarn going to each
yeah.
one. Yeah.
I think given how intense some fans can be, that's not a job that I would want to do, because some people can just get really intense and really crazy when there is just one tiny mistake. So it must be a lot of pressure to make sure that everything is correct.
Right.
Well, I'm not going to lie to you, Guillaume. You and Steven seem to be computer databases sent from the future to manage the X-Files, because you guys know the actors, the episodes,
The episodes I know, but the actors, well, not so much for the later seasons, and certainly not at the level that Steven is, because his knowledge is like he sent me, he watched Talita Kumi a few days ago, and he spotted an actor who was in a season 5 episode. And I was like, he sent me the picture of the actor, and I was like, okay, yes, he's familiar, but I would have been unable to say he's from that other episode. But Steven immediately recognized him. So yeah, I don't think there are a lot of people who know that much about the X-Files. It's always impressive.
So at
I
the
think-
next convention, I dare you to ask one of the guest speakers what the combination to the safe was, and episode whatever, or some ridiculous question.
Oh yeah.
How come they never showed Agent Mulder going to the bathroom or something?
I think when Steven goes to sleep at night, he actually plugs in like a Borg into the IMDb database, and
He doesn't sleep; he just regenerates.
yeah, exactly. Just it's a constant transfer of IMDb files to him.
Stephen also put in the comment here. This was a little bit ago, but he's excited his box of Premier boosters that he won on eBay on Thursday is coming from Arlington, Texas. So it's in Houston.
Oh,
Have it
it's
on
close
one.
by.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
You should,
go pick it up for free.
Yeah, reach out to them and ask them if they want to play some X-Files, as long as they're close by, relatively speaking.
Stephen with the retort, the instance Guillaume is referencing wasn't even on IMDb. Gotcha.
Oh, so we have a super secret database that he plugs into. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just what if it's just Chris Carter's brain, and Steven has had it transplanted into
He's
his.
got it in a jar like in Futurama, you know.
Oh,
Yeah.
then I would have many questions for him, like what the hell were you thinking with season 10 and 11? Then?
Oh,
Ooh.
yeah.
Cash grab.
Right, money. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah. So never has been able to recapture the lightning in a bottle that was the X-Files. It's just
No.
perfect time and place.
Yeah, I think it's very much of its time, and it has aged, I think, very well. For the first season, when you compare it to other shows from that time, the X-Files, I think, has aged very well. Maybe except for the first season, but starting with the second season, they were really, the way they shot the episode, it was very almost cinematic, which not a lot of TV shows from that time were able to do. So I think it aged very well. But starting maybe with I think up until season 8 they were still pretty good. Season 9 not so much, and then 10, 11. I think when we get to that point where we have made cards for season now through 9, and we have to make cards for seasons 10 and 11, it will really be a challenge to find something interesting to put in card form.
Or we could just do a Disney and remove it.
Oh yeah.
Ignore it.
I mean, because let's be real. Part of the fun thing about this game is like reliving the episodes a little bit, right? So when I pull Strughold Mining, you know, like, and especially after the movie, you know, now that site has significance. You know, Melissa Scully, right? Like these are characters that we know and love.
Yeah.
So part of this game is like nostalgia, and I agree with you, Guillaume. I don't feel that about season 9. It's not a good season.
No, it's not.
The end of the show is disappointing. Not to mention as like he goes on trial, and like I took military law, you know, like I know what these military trials are supposed to look like, and like it's whoever was consulting on that, like, what are you doing?
I don't
It's just
anyone.
yeah, it's just you really have to like suspend belief to be able to manage that till the end.
So in today's Hollywood's climate today, where all the creativity is gone, could the X-Files be rebooted?
Oh, 100%. I actually don't think the creativity is gone in Hollywood.
Mm.
It's just the marketing money doesn't flow there. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know. I feel like there's just the stuff that like gets really huge now is kind of like the X-Files, where it's just like this, what are we doing here kind of thing, and then people watch it and it blows up, like Stranger Things. You know, like that was not like a premiere project for Netflix as far as I know, but it had such like a word of mouth spread like wildfire thing, and then just blew up like crazy. So I don't know. I think it could get made just because everybody, like, it's weird saying this now that it could get made because X-Files paved the way for stuff like that to be made even
Right.
today,
Right.
you know, and Twin Peaks, same thing, you know, like those shows sort of laid the groundwork. So it's hard for me if you put that genie back in the bottle and say like, okay, if it weren't for the X-Files, could the X-Files get made today? I don't know how to answer that, but I think there would still. I think it could get made. Yeah.
And if they were to reboot the show, would it have to be set in today's time, or would it have to be set in the 90s?
Oh,
Could-
I would say reboot, and it would be now, like updated.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
put someone in Mulder's suit with those ridiculously wide ties, loud wide ties from the 80s. I don't think people could relate to it, and it, but if it's more like now, you would be able to capture more people because they could relate to it better.
Yeah. I mean, I just can't. Don't get me started on rebooting, because I it's so like X-Files amongst all the other shows is like so Mulder and Scully centric, and those actors.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They had great chemistry. It worked very, very well.
Yeah. I honestly cannot imagine another. You could reboot it, but have it be not Mulder and Scully, right? It could be like different set of agents in the same universe. Kind of actually what I wish they would have done with John Doggett and Reyes.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay for the X-Files to move on from Mulder and Scully.
Just pass the torch.
Yeah. I really wish they would have, because I think those two had their own interesting stories to tell.
I think
Never got a chance to shine.
Yeah, they should have done that in season 9. But yeah, since Gillian Anderson still had a 1-year contract, I can understand them not wanting to get rid of Scully, but I think in the end, it didn't have the season. Maybe it would have still be cancelled after season 9, but at least they would have given Doggett and Reyes a fair shot. And Steven, I see that in the comments, Steven said that the season 9 finale was too heavily inspired by the Seinfeld finale. Yeah, I kind of see your point.
Yeah.
And he says lame.
Yeah. Although I have to say, if I have to choose between the two, I prefer the Seinfeld finale over the X-Files finale. Because Seinfeld, it kind of got silly at the end during the... and so it didn't feel that out of place, whereas for the X-Files, yeah, they could have done something way better. But to me, it ended with... If I had to choose an ending, I would say end it with season 8, which to me feels like the most... If it ended there, I felt like Mulder and Scully's story was done, and it's no need to continue. But after that, yeah, I mean, at least we have other episodes to watch, and we can choose which one we like, and we can decide if we rewatch the show when to end it, if we want to ignore what.
So season 9 just never happened. Erase it from your memory.
Well, I think the title of the premiere is said it all, like nothing important happened today, or nothing important happened during that season. So
Nice.
Yeah.
I will say I cried during the Seinfeld finale. I did not cry during the X-Files
No,
finale.
it didn't touch you. It didn't get you right here. Didn't hit home.
Yeah, when they did that montage with the Green Day song,
Yeah,
in the Seinfeld finale. That hit me right in the feels. I'm like, I'm never gonna see Kramer again. Oh,
yeah. For the X-Files, I cried for a different reason.
right.
Yeah.
David, have you ever actually seen the X-Files finale?
I have not. No, I just
Yeah. Okay.
I can imagine because I've seen plenty. I grew up on television, and unfortunately, I hope my mom isn't watching, but I've seen a lot of bad finales and only a handful of shows that ended perfectly. Like Lost, I felt like wrapped it up with a really great ending.
Well, not everyone agrees with that.
Not everyone agrees with that. That's true. But I personally, I felt like it ended well. But then other shows, you're just like, Guillaume, you're just like, what happened? What are you doing? Did you change writers at the last minute, or you just like give up, or what happened?
I think usually you during the last few seasons you kind of get the sense of whether the quality is falling or not. So usually it's not that much of a surprise if the finale is bad. But yeah, it's frustrating when there are shows that are consistently good and then they kind of drop the ball at the end. It does not give you the sense of fulfillment you get when you have a show that ends in a right way. Like, to me, I think one of the best series finale, I think, is 6 Feet Under, which is maybe, yeah, it's great. But there are other, I really like the Buffy finale as well. Friends also. But yeah, the X-Files not so much.
Sopranos for me is the
I like
the number one.
I actually like that ending. I know it's kind of
too.
It's controversial, but yeah, to me I like it. I always took it to me like he was shot in the head and it just ended. But I like it.
Which is funny. So you like it assuming he died.
Yeah.
I actually like it assuming he lived. So that's funny.
I think that's good about it because you can kind of make your own opinion.
Right. Like I like stuff that makes you think like that, and
it would be like the ending to Inception. The token, was it still spinning or was it starting to fall down? Is he still in the dream or is this reality or what's going on? Stephen, I got to pull you in. I hope you're close to your keyboard there. He agrees with Guillaume. Season 8 was the ideal ending there. Season 9, we may just have to formally not recognize anything beyond season 8 and just put that on our FAQs. Like, why isn't there a season 9 expansion?
Oh God,
we don't.
I can't do it, guys. I can't do it. I'll do a token season 9 set. Fine,
I actually think that there are a few fun episodes which could provide some good cards, but 170 cards, yeah, I don't know.
Maybe it'll be like a mini expansion where we just cherry pick the agents in 1 or 2
season 9 / I Want to Believe / seasons 10 and 11. Maybe we could
combine all the final seasons and just cherry pick the good stuff.
And it's still only 40 cards. So,
Stephen, did you have a show where you felt it ended perfectly, or we've already established the X-Files didn't end like we would have liked, but what's like one of your favorite shows that ended right? He says, I'll do a season 9 expansion, won't touch season 10 or 11. Breaking Bad, yay or nay, Stephen? You liked it, you didn't like it?
I liked it, although it was entirely predictable.
I thought that the penultimate episode was way better than the actual finale.
I agree.
But yeah, I guess in that sense, it kind of felt like a conclusion to the penultimate. It was still a great show. You can still say to someone, watch it from beginning to end, and you won't be disappointed, which is not something you can say for a lot of shows.
Stephen is a resounding yay. He thought Breaking Bad ended very well.
Well, not surprisingly, given all the X-Files crossover between the two shows, right?
Yeah.
I'm I'm working my way through Better Call Saul now, actually.
Oh, and isn't that show just ending this year, or did it already
I
end?
think it did, yeah.
Yeah, it ended this year, I think in June, I think.
Oh, just earlier this year.
Yeah, I still need to watch that show. I've watched Breaking Bad, but I have not watched Better Call Saul yet.
Yeah, so I'm a latecomer to it too. But everybody raves about it, so.
Oh, Community. Stephen brought up Community. He said it ended well enough. Boy, that was Community for me. I loved that show right up until the last season when all the actors started dropping out. And then you started hearing that, oh, Chevy Chase was a jerk on set and this and that, and it kind of spoiled it for me. I can still watch the reruns, but the last season they lost a bunch of the actors and it just didn't have the same feel to it. I did like I can't remember the character's name, but he left on the sailboat. I felt okay with that one.
Did they actually do 6 seasons of that show?
I don't know about 6. I know a movie is coming up. That just
the joke was 6 seasons and a movie, and I saw the movie thing, so I'm like, is this the finish now? Like the capstone on the 6 seasons and a movie thing?
I wonder, maybe they stretched it out too far just to get the 6 seasons so that they could do a movie later. Yeah.
I think it was like Yahoo that they did the last season on or something, right?
Yeah, Yahoo bought it. Steven does confirm they did 6 seasons. He says Preacher was a great show. He liked how that ended. House should have ended way sooner. I couldn't agree more. My son was addicted to House. He loved that show. And I liked the first three or 4 seasons. And then it just seemed like it was the exact same formula every time, and they would occasionally throw in a B plot where one of the doctors got sick or whatever, but it was always, they busted their butt. To figure out what was wrong with this patient. They had like 3 misdiagnoses, and then suddenly the last 5 minutes, House has this epiphany and he's figured it out. And I kind of got tired of that one.
That pretty much describes every House episode I've ever seen. Community, the first 3 seasons are, and I didn't watch beyond that, some of the funniest TV I've ever seen.
Oh,
I mean, that Chevy Chase Beastmaster episode will live on for me. Oh my God. The first time I saw that, I was laughing for an hour.
Is that the one where they played Dungeons and Dragons?
I don't remember that. It was the Halloween, and he's dressed as Beastmaster, and he goes in the bathroom, and Sideburns says, like, here, take some of these or something, and he gives him some drugs, and it interacts with like Chevy Chase's like pills such that he just goes crazy. So it's just him in a Beastmaster costume, just tripping balls, destroying things, ripping stuff down. This old Chevy Chase, right? It's just phenomenal stuff.
The Halloween episodes were great, and the paintball episodes. I always look into those. My favorite is the Dungeons and Dragons one. If you haven't seen that, go to Netflix, look it up, and watch it. It's hilarious. I played a lot of Dungeons and Dragons growing up. Along with a few other RPGs, and I related to every single thing that happened in that episode. And it's another great Chevy Chase episode too. It was a lot of fun. I don't want to say too much because
I feel like I've seen it, but I don't like recall it. So it'd definitely be worth watching.
You remember Senior Chang dressed up as an elf, and he painted his whole face.
I do remember. Yeah. Oh my God. And, that's right.
I remember just laughing about that one long after the show was finished that night. I had to watch it again because I was laughing so much. I missed a bunch of other jokes in it.
Oh man. Yeah. After I'm done with my October like horror binge, I'll pick Community back up.
So what movie?
Go ahead, Guillaume.
Oh, sorry, I was going to say, what movies are you watching, Nathan?
Oh, so I've got like I always have like these grand ambitions to expand my horror horizons, but I always go back to like the comfort food movies, which are like the Halloween series. And I go deep on that. So like Halloween like 4 and 5 are my like I like hitting those. There's the Halloween 4 opens with like this sort of like they're showing rural areas and it's fall and there's like pumpkins and scarecrows and just sort of this desolate landscape. I don't know. For that, that's like quintessential Halloween to me.
Halloween, Halloween 4 is a good one.
Yeah. So you know what I'm talking about then, right? Like the opening scene. Yeah, and it's like, oh, this is a really lonely, like, it just sets the stage for the movie perfectly. Anyway, so like The Thing, Exorcist 3 is one of the scariest movies I've ever seen, so I like doing that one. Not the original Exorcist 3, which I think was like direct to video or something. So I
Hey,
like
Steven.
Steven, not the original Exorcist 3.
You guys
which I think
lured
was like
me in
direct
with
to video or something. So I
Hey,
like
Steven.
Steven, not the original Exorcist 3.
you guys
which I think
lured
was like
me
direct
in
to
with
Someone's watching on YouTube also.
yeah. No, you guys lured me in with talk of television and and horror movies. So
Oh, yeah.
I was just about to say, Nathan, I love the rural montage of Halloween 4, and I go as far as Halloween 6. After that, I stop.
What about Halloween Ends? Didn't that just come out, or is it coming out
no, gosh, no.
It's next week.
It's
next week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of those three. I'm done with that franchise. I can't embrace it anymore. I watched the first 6 movies and then I was like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine with that. Call it a day. Move on to a different franchise. There's plenty to watch for Halloween season. So
I have to say, I love all of them.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
to some degrees, like Halloween 8, I hate it. It's just
I do.
so bad. Halloween H2O, I love it. Remember going to the movies in 1998,
I remember seeing it too in the theater. Yeah. It was,
and I still love it. I even love the Rob Zombie remix and the new trilogy. The first one is great, and the second one was really bad. So I'm cautiously optimistic about the last one, but I will be going to the movies to see it next week.
the first 2 weren't that great, were they?
The first one was great. The second one, it was really bad. So
They're-
it could go the way for the third one.
Yeah. Well, Nathan, since it is Halloween season, have you watched like the Werewolf by Night and that Marvel just put out? I mean, it's like a one-off, just intended for the Halloween season. Nathan, you muted? Oh, he kicked out his table, so that was what. Yeah, sorry, Nathan. Yeah,
There we go.
Yeah.
Let me put. There we go. No, I haven't seen it yet, but I saw that it was like in circulation, and I was intrigued by it. So
yeah, I've been having a bit of Marvel fatigue lately, so I haven't seen She-Hulk or the last Thor movie, but I've heard good things about Werewolf, and so maybe I'll give it a go.
yeah, What We Do in the Shadows is one I've been watching, which is actually pretty funny. It's
Yeah,
on Hulu.
yeah, I think I saw a trailer or something for that. That looked pretty good.
So, but yeah, like, and then The Thing. It's a lot of John Carpenter stuff.
John Carpenter is the Thing. Oh, Guillaume has not seen The Thing yet, and I
No,
told him,
Yeah,
horror
it's
movie fan, you have to. You saw it?
no, it's on my website.
You have to see it. It is the quintessential horror movie. There's nothing better than John Carpenter's The Thing, in my opinion.
And it's one of those things like ever since I've watched the X-Files, I've read about ice being inspired by the thing, so I'm aware of that movie for like 20 plus years, but I never had the chance to watch it. So, but it's on, yeah.
That you like ice, you'll love The Thing. It's I mean, the installation is exactly the same as what we see in the movie. It's the perfect horror movie. Yeah, you got to see it.
And then I also like a lot of the like classic Universal monster movies.
Yeah, I got them
Oh,
all.
really?
Yeah,
Dracula.
Creature from the Black Lagoon is my favorite.
You know, I've never. It's weird. I always like start that, and I've never made it through that movie yet.
Really? I love that one.
Yeah,
The
but
Mummy
like,
is a close second. I would
Mummy,
have to say.
yep.
Yeah.
yeah,
The Wolfman, great. I mean, great. They're all
Wolfman.
good. I could go on and on. Wolfman, I love it. Frankenstein. Yeah, I love watching them all. Even Invisible Man is a really good watch as well. So I have them. I have those like legendary DVD sets where you have like the first movie and then all of its sequels that came after that. So it's great,
Oh,
great collection.
I have the same the Legacy collection.
Yes,
Yeah,
Legacy. Yes, thank you. Yeah, they're great.
it's funny,
They're perfect to watch right now.
right?
I do need to give Yost a voice here. We're going to backtrack to great TV show finales. He's saying Star Wars, Clone Wars, and Rebels had great season finales, and I would second that. I don't know if you guys watched any of those. But,
Oh,
Clone Wars, not Rebels, though.
you watched Clone Wars, but not Rebels?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Hey Nathan, the seller you pointed out to Dax who was selling Dax's dream cards.
Yeah.
Guess who bought his stuff?
That was you?
Yeah, I bought it
Oh, okay.
because he's selling a No One So Paranoid and a Deep Throat. And
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, so no one bid on it, and then in the last 20 seconds, I just clicked.
Sniped
like,
it.
You can't get a No One So Paranoid, for less than $100.
Yeah.
These days. I was like, I got it for 70, along with a Deep Throat, along with about 250 some odd other cards. So
Right.
I'll take that. Also, that seller is in Corpus Christi, Texas. So the two bids I won that day are both Texas sellers. Although that seller has not done anything yet since Thursday. So
Oh, wow. Not even a confirmation, huh?
nope. So
If
I'm
you,
wondering if they're going to renege.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me.
If you wind up with an extra Dana Scully abducted, I think I need that one yet too.
Oh, I need that too. I only have the one. So
Well, I don't care. Send it to me.
I mean, that wasn't in the pictures, but
No, I know, but who knows what was all in there?
I know
But
that's the thing.
might
The
be
wonder of
booster,
it.
yeah. It might be in your booster box though.
What's that? Oh God, yeah. I haven't. I mean, that thing's gonna be here on Monday, and I'm planning to do giveaways. I've also was kind of flirting with the idea of like, do I want to do what Mike and Matt did, a full episode of just opening them for people? Do us. I don't know. I don't necessarily want to like recreate what they did, but I was kind of toying with that idea. I don't know, Nathan. What are you thinking about doing with all of your many sealed boxes?
Well, I'd still like to do a sealed tournament
Okay.
with it. I don't know if that'll ever come to fruition.
I love that idea just because it's like all the people who are going to come in with their freaking tournament decks with like, half sites and do like 4-site investigations and all that garbage that's, that no one really
Right.
wants to see. Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Right.
I'll take part. I mean, I'll take part in that. I don't want to run it, but I'll take part in it.
Well, that's the thing. Like logistically, how does that work? Because we're not going to, it's going to have to be online. We're not going to be getting people together for this thing. So, yeah. I just want to. I want to make sure that whatever we do, it's like there's some, I don't know, integrity to it, I guess, because like, there's going to be like an honesty component, right? Like, did you pull a Deep Throat out of your pack or?
Well, each one should begin with them opening the pack.
Oh, so you just open it on camera? Oh,
yeah,
that's good.
no more integrity. Yeah, than that. I was like, here's what I pulled.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're gonna have to show off what agents they pulled. Granted, the thing is, they can still. I think they should be able to pre-select their X file card
Yes.
beforehand. They don't need to
Oh, yeah.
like, 'cause if they're gonna show what X files they pulled, their
That's
opponent
true.
could be writing to, okay, he got that, So pre-selected X file, nothing else.
Right. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, but basically, what we've done for the three episodes, I think that is probably the best way to go,
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
are really
there you go.
fun.
Yeah, I'd like to. I've got those premier decks and some premier packs. I'd like to do a sealed game at some point. So, if one of you want to break from the sealed weekly games, I'll happily take your place.
I mean, I've done 3, so I'm good. So yeah, I'm eager just to watch someone else doing it for a change.
Nice.
You're not a comic collector, are you, Nathan?
Like, not.
Not
So
current.
I've got a pretty like decent comic collection.
That's,
But I don't consider myself a collector because it's all like happenstance. Like, I don't go out and seek out particular issues, or if I'm somewhere where, like, for example, I went to a rummage, my wife and I like rummage sailing, right? So I went to a rummage sale, and this guy has like 4 long boxes of DC comics from the Rebirth
okay.
event.
Yeah.
So they're all modern, but he's like, $50, you can have them all. And I'm like, oh, okay. I like reading comics. Fine. I'll take them. And so,
Long
yeah,
boxes.
for $50. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Sounds good. So like now I've got a bunch of DC Rebirth stuff, like, so this is what I mean when I say I'm an unintentional collector. Like, if I happen upon something like that, I buy it and like, I'll read the comics, but I'm not somebody who is like, I have to seek out particular, like a Spider-Man collector, or I'm a Superman collector, or something like that.
Well, I told David this the other day, but I work in a library, and people just donate all sorts of things to us. I mean, primarily books, but sometimes you get like National Geographics from the 50s.
Nice.
No, not nice.
No,
Not
like
nice.
some old stuff is actually worth money,
Some, not often though. A lot of times, and then like encyclopedias, that are from like the 70s, and of course like medical stuff from like the same era, like that. Of course, that stuff isn't even applicable now. Legal stuff from like bygone, decades,
Oh, yeah.
and it's like you can't do anything with that because that stuff, the information has changed with the times.
Right.
But anyway, long story short, on Wednesday, a guy came in and needed help carrying some donations in. I'm always like shuddering when they're like, "Oh, I've got like boxes and boxes of stuff." I'm like, "Oh God, here we go." So I was like, "Okay, I get another guy." Like, dude, come with me, help me. He opens the trunk. 5 long boxes of comics.
Good stuff.
One of the 5 had to be tossed because it was sitting at the bottom of the pile, and in some room that did have some water damage, so the bottom box had to get trashed. The other 4 were stuff from the 80s to about like the early to mid 2000s. He says it was his son collecting them, so his son was probably maybe a little bit older than I was when I started collecting, and I spent like I came back periodically over the course of 2 days to sift through those boxes to see if there was anything good, and I grabbed anything that I noted to be a key issue or a somewhat earlier issue. But yeah, I've been going through them. The most notable one, as I told David, was New Mutants 98, which is first appearance of Deadpool.
Oh, wow.
That was in there.
How much is that one worth?
Well, there's 2 variants of it. One of them.
Or
This isn't it, but this is just an example. The version of New Mutants '98 with Deadpool has like a 50th anniversary thing on here. The other version has the one with the UPC code on here. I got the one with the UPC code on here, so that one is not as valuable as the other one, but it's still Deadpool's first appearance, so it's still pretty good. Also had first, which I have that one here, Watchmen #1.
Great book.
Spawn #1 and Spawn #2.
Wait, Steven, are you saying you took the library donations?
He's researching.
Yeah. New Mutants '87. So hey, for cable. So no, we most of the stuff the majority of donations we get we trash, because what we do is you guys probably think that what is donated to us actually gets put into our collection. That doesn't happen. We don't do that. We did it. We used to do that. We don't do it anymore. We just sell it, and the money would be put towards like some of our future events, like programs and stuff like that. We're not doing a whole lot of those because we're still sort of in a pandemic. That to do big events for people gathering, still not something people are interested in doing right now. So that's what we go for. No, and so the volunteers who sort through and they're like, hey, you guys want to take anything? There's over 1,000 comics here. We're not going to do anything with these. We're just going to take them to like a comic book store and be like, what do you want for them? So I was just like, sure, I'll sift through them. A couple of my coworkers did too, but I was like, I made sure to get the best of the best out of there. So I was like, that doesn't happen very often. So
okay.
Yeah.
So what is the Deadpool? Probably a couple hundred at least, right?
For the condition it was in, I would say I could probably sell it for maybe around 100 or 200.
Okay.
Yeah, it was about 5 or 6 grade if I had to guess, but yeah. So
that's
about
the other thing. I have no clue about the grading.
I have a general sense, like I can ballpark the grade between 1 and 10, and for that, it's not pristine condition. But I'll hold on to it. Deadpool is about to enter the MCU, so I don't think that issue has peaked yet. So I think holding on to it a little longer would be a wise course of action. So so I've just been the last couple of days been going through, because I took home about 100 of them.
You've been comic sorting.
Yeah, well, no, I haven't really. It's like it's just whenever I had the chance, mostly moving them from they came in some pretty grimy bags unboarded, so I bought some brand new bags and boards that came in yesterday. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna transfer them to the clean ones.
Do you have a database of the stuff you've got? Yeah,
I do, and it's a software called Clears, CLZ, and it has an app. You can have both the desktop software is the stuff I use for indexing it and cataloging it, but the app, the Clears app, this is what I do when I go out, like when I'm like at work, or I'm at going through these boxes, or I'm at a comic store, because I have over 5,000 comics. So I don't have them all in my head what I have. So sometimes I have to go through here to be like, do I have this issue? I can't remember. And if I do, what grade did I, give it? Is this a better grade? The one I'm looking at now. So having this on hand. So I use the desktop software to sync up with my phone. So every time I add stuff, it's on here. So it's a really sweet database. I'd recommend if anyone wants to catalog either their books or their DVDs or the music CDs. They got a database. That provider has a database for a lot of different collectability things.
With all my free time, I'll catalog my comics. Right?
It's time consuming, but I like doing it though.
I don't even know where to start.
Same problem.
Well, come for the X-Files game. Stay for the horror movie discussion, comic book discussion, you name it.
Yeah.
We've
We
covered
should
it.
start a blog or a podcast.
I don't.
Somebody
There's
else.
better
Somebody else
people
can
out
do
there
that.
for that.
Yeah.
Our niche is X-Files collectible card game, and that's where I was like, that's what we know. That's where I tend to stay, and that takes up quite a bit of our time as it is. So I wouldn't know how to divide my time between anything else. So, but yeah, I've
I have
been
too many interests. Too many interests and too little
getting
time.
a lot of projects from the sound of it. And yeah, you've been busy lately working on getting getting the group more present in social media. So bravo on that.
Yeah. I bought the website too, by the way. Just haven't done anything with the hosting yet, but
Yeah.
we've got it locked up.
Oh, that's awesome. So which one was it? The xrccg.net?
.org. xfilesccg.org. Yeah. Seemed
Awesome.
the
Yeah.
popular choice. So
That's good.
All right, I think we're getting to dead air time. Maybe call it a show here.
Yeah. Well, my daughter's
All right.
birthday thing on Thursday has turned into. I mean, it's turned into a multi-day thing, and I'm just. Today was a long day at the park. Really hot out. It's Texas after all. Tomorrow we're going to the beach. I'm probably going to be just as wiped out after tomorrow as I was today. So
nice.
yeah. Then get back on the horse with editing and rewatching the season 5 so I can get some cards written pretty quickly. But it was just, this is the week where it's like her birthday kind of just, took over a lot of my free time.
Well, David, no, they're not showing up here. Let me know your address.
Oh no, I think I'll just let that one fade away into the sunset. There.
Okay.
Oh, David, speaking of which, I think I just realized, is your channel partly that's the city you live in, right?
Yeah,
Sequim.
Squim.
Way to
Okay.
dox him. Good grief.
Sorry, what?
I said way to dox him.
No, I was trying to
Doxing
figure out what
you.
it meant the other day. I was like, what does that mean? And then it occurred to me because I sent you something. I was like, oh,
I was
yeah.
just kidding.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that means.
It's when you reveal someone's online identity. Expose them for who they really are and where they live.
Yeah,
Right?
that's primarily why Yost is here. He needed to find out where I live. So
Yeah.
he can stalk me, I'm sure, right, Yost?
Well, I don't know how many times I've said where I've lived on, but thankfully no one has sent me anything weird yet.
no envelopes with white powder in them in the mail yet.
I mean, granted, I typically say I live in Houston, but I don't actually live in Houston. I live in one of the neighboring cities, but so yeah, so not quite. So a little bit of ambiguity on where I actually live for the online universe.
If someone wants to find you, they will go to every library in the Houston area and they will find you at some point.
They'll have to go to the outskirts to find me, and there's a lot of libraries. It'll
be that same guy from the Star Trek convention I was talking about earlier. He's got the time and the patience for it.
Yeah.
No. Oh no! Perish the thought. Yeah. So,
All right.
What are we doing next weekend?
There was talk about trying to create decks that were based around specific episodes. Is that something that's possible?
It's possible. Might take a lot. Will take a lot more time to build.
So
Gosh.
maybe we'll.
I'll need more time to. Yeah, it's not one of those I can put together in a couple of hours.
I call Dwayne Barry an Ascension.
Of course, there are like 4 agents from that episode. So, but, I actually had the idea to try to do Dranberry team,
Jose
but
Chung from Outer Space. I call dibs on that one.
yeah, but
Manners.
I dropped that one. It just Didn't feel like a good fit.
That's not a bad idea, David. It'd be tricky, but you know what? We gotta challenge ourselves. Otherwise it might get stale after a while.
Or maybe if everyone has enough time to think about it, we could do that roundtable discussion about deck building. And
Yeah, like I said, this
everyone's-
wasn't a good weekend for me to do it. But,
I'm up for it. Yeah.
yeah, we can definitely do that.
Yeah.
David, what's the update on your agent card?
what?
Your agent card?
I'm losing you.
Oh, it's like
I haven't done anything.
Sprinkle some paper like for static.
Bigger fish to fry.
Yeah,
Bigger
final-
fish to fry.
Because
Yeah.
Guillaume and I are like, we're gonna do a game. Guillaume and I are-
Oh, nice.
Oh, there's
he's just as noisy on this end as you guys can hear. Guillaume and I are gonna play a game with our agent cards as soon as my revised one comes in the mail.
And just out of curiosity, what should I end if we're going to talk about Dax and his creativity and schedule and that kind of stuff?
I guess. I mean, if you're gonna badmouth him now?
No, I'll totally do that live. I don't care.
Oh, really?
No, Dax is a great guy.
Of course, can't say enough about him.
He's putting. Did I hear you say he's putting together an order and soon, or is that already happened?
I don't know if he
What's
submitted it already, but yeah, I mean, I didn't talk to him today, but yeah, he was gonna be sending me at least some of the season 4 sites in his next order.
Okay, I got to reach out to him and figure out his cadence for ordering. I've got one or two things I need to order some of his because that dream card game that we played was fun, but I didn't realize he had so many dream cards out there, and I just have like the smallest handful of them. So
and he was revising them earlier this week because Guillaume and I had reviewed them and sent him quite a few corrections. I don't know if he's done with all of them though, but yeah, the last time we played a game with his dream cards, then we reviewed him in the days after that, and we had quite a bit of stuff for him to correct. And yeah, he finally got around to working on those. So definitely reach out to him because he may not be ready to order somebody for the dream cards because he's still got to correct a few of them possibly. I don't know if he is with those exactly.
But I don't know what Guillaume and Nathan, what your collections look like from Dream Cards, but that was a fun game. Not a bad idea to revisit, maybe with someone who has a bigger collection than I do.
My collection of Dream Cards is about to grow because if that seller in Corpus Christi actually does send me everything as shown in the images they posted, then I'll have some extras I can send your way. I didn't order it because for those I wanted the No One So Paranoid and the Deep Throat, but I was like, if there's dream cards, which I already have all the dream cards in that image except for like one of them, I can send the other ones to you. If they're not ones that needed to be corrected, though, we found quite a few that needed correcting. I don't think there was any of the ones in the picture. Maybe there was. Was Death of the Innocents? Guillaume, did that one have to get corrected?
I think there was something, but it was just a minor typo thing in the quote section.
Oh, okay. Then that's not going to affect the gameplay. And I think it also had the Null Roar adversary card was in there, and I'm like, yeah.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
The seller who was selling Dax's stuff.
Yeah, but like the Null Roar adversary.
Dax made a Null Roar.
Oh, okay.
I don't have it in front of me, otherwise I'd show it.
Oh, so you're talking about the ones that Dax mocked up to get signed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or just because he was playing around with them.
Gotcha.
But yeah, he basically took John Barnett's effect, or John Barnett links you to Molder, and made that Null Roar. Slight deviation, like maybe just like with a slight deviation on it.
Sure.
Yeah. So yeah. If you see where he is with that, David. Yeah, get yourself some some of his dream cards. A few of them are worth owning.
And I need to grab a piece of scrap paper because I've got the brain trust, the X-Files brain trust here.
Who would that be?
It's not me.
Between the three of you guys, everything I would ever want to know about the X-Files is right in front of me.
Except Chris Carter, but yeah.
For the field office crime lab, Guillaume, you had asked about whether or not agents could be attacked by adversaries, and my first thought was no. But the more I think about it, there's the card Dark Forces Align, which you can add a site keyword to a team, which kind of opens up the bureau, the hospital. It should open up the crime lab as well. And you cited 2 specific episodes where people had been attacked in like a police station or
off the top of my head, I can't remember those episodes, but I'm sure there are instances. Well, and there are some instances where Scully is in the morgue and she's attacked, like in Badla, which I know Steven loves that episode. But anyway, there's something that happens in the lab. So,
I mean, it happened in Pusher.
one of my favorites. I think I'd remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to know episodes where there was an attack in a police station?
Or
Well-
that bureau. Right.
Just like some examples, so I could maybe come up with some adversaries. Obviously, Pusher's already done.
Or you want to know episodes where there was an attack in a hospital? Sorry, maybe I wasn't quite following along.
No, field office. He's thinking about the field office crime lab.
Okay, so
Oh.
it could be an attack. So, I see. Which I get it.
do you think that there would need to be?
He had when they brought the 2 girls into the police station and all the guns started firing off and all the chairs started to move because of the planetary alignment. So that was sort of an attack on a police station.
What was the name of that one?
Syzygy from season 3. It's the one where like Mulder and Scully are being hostile towards each other. Sure, fine, whatever.
But those 2 adversaries already exist, so. Because David, my question was, can existing adversaries attack agents in a field office crime lab?
Oh, existing. Okay. Yeah. Ooh.
Because
You gotta
Does
make
that
it
change
work.
things? Steven's kind of like, ooh, I don't know. Does
Well,
it-
I mean, it's like, is there going to be some special keyword that's going to be needed for that to happen? That could be problematic.
But
That's when-
like you were saying, David, you could Dark Forces Align.
you also have no place to stay.
Yeah. Yeah. Although is that just the bureau or is that
It might just be the bureau.
No place is safe as the bureau.
But there are some adversaries whose activator is only agents, for instance. So I guess like Simon Gates could attack, ignoring. It doesn't require a site to attack. I don't know.
well, I guess so. Does this does the field office crime lab thing happen during the investigation phase, David?
Mhm. Let me
Okay.
triple check. Correct, yeah.
Okay.
Well, again, nothing's set in stone, right? So if
Right,
you
right.
guys, if that doesn't make sense, let me know. But that was my initial thought.
Okay.
Maybe like after all of the sites have been investigated.
Yeah, because then if it is during the investigation phase, I mean, in theory, yeah, you could put an adversary on there that only, if its activator is only agent. Some of them are. Yeah.
Yeah, it would work.
We may need to
I think
figure out
it's.
some special rules or something.
I think we would need to do a few mock-up games to see if it actually works that way. But I think the conspiracy player needs to have the opportunity to thwart the investigation in the field of this crime lab. Otherwise, it's just once you get your agents there, you're just safe. So it should not be too easy either. Although it's not the main part of the investigating phase. It's just a bonus way to also ask questions. So I don't know. And before we log out, to go back to the roundtable discussion, will you be sending us talking points that we can think about before, or we would just do that on the fly while we are recording?
Well, maybe a combination of the two. Maybe we can get into Discord and kind of continue that. Come up with a couple of good questions that we think would be good
Yeah,
for everybody.
And then
to
that way it'll give us some time to think about our answers prior to recording. I like that
Yeah.
idea.
And who knows, it'll organically turn into tonight where the game was done in 30 minutes and we're approaching 2 hours of broadcast time. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I can only hope that every one of my games turns out exactly like the game did tonight.
boo.
David, I'm on a win streak against you, I think.
Yeah, I got like
Mine was shattered in my last game with David.
what's that?
I said my winning streak against you, David, was shattered in our last game.
Yes, everybody should watch and like and
Episode 11.
subscribe to that episode.
Episode 11. David's shining moment in there.
Hit subscribe.
Yep. Oh man,
You got to do the call to action. You got to do the call to action. Follow David at his renamed channel name that I'm now forgetting.
Yeah, my new rebranded channel, Studio Squim. Going to be doing all kinds of fun, cool stuff. I always have great plans, but we'll see if anything actually comes to fruition. But
Official channel mascot. Actually, it's probably already taken by.
No, Cholera has that.
that was
sealed.
oh my gosh, that's creepy.
It is.
After talking about all these Halloween movies, and now we're seeing
Like
this.
all of us have a cat that just likes to get all up in our grill while
I think it's just been all over again.
It's the common denominator with all of our group. You know, the cats just want to come in and take over. Nathan, we'll be sending you a cat in the mail here.
That is true. Yeah, that's.
I will reject the creature.
We're going to give it to you Christmas vacation style. It'll be a present, so you can't reject it.
Oh, there's Cholera. I just noticed he popped up too.
Oh, he's been on.
You're trying to give me an asthma attack, huh, David? Is that your plan here? Just
anything to promote the channel,
right?
Yeah, we got cats. There you go.
Cats and the internet. It just goes together.
Yeah, they go hand in hand,
like chocolate and peanut butter.
Ow. Someone.
All right, guys. So we'll switch to Discord and talk. You know, get some talking points together, get them organized, and have some time to think about what we want to talk about. And Saturday will be a little different. Stephen, did you want to host that so you can put it as an episode on your channel? I assume you've.
Let me look at my hours. Let me see how many hours I have. And I'll let you know before. I'll let you know like in the next. I mean, maybe tomorrow. If I'm, if not Monday, I should have an answer for you. If I don't tell you tomorrow, remind me. Like at the end of the day, because I might just be too busy tomorrow to check.
Okay, so tomorrow is in an hour and a half. So.
Well, tomorrow.
You mean half an hour ago?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, I don't. I feel like I should be fine. I don't have a whole lot. I have like maybe one game planned, not counting whatever Guillaume and I are going to play with some of the augmented ideas that we came up with that we were talking about last night. But yeah, I should be okay, but I don't want to say yes and then I'm like going to be short on hours.
Well, if anything, I'll have to take a look at my hours too and see where I'm at. But you know, it's the beginning of the month, so mine I probably reset already, and I'm good. If anything, I can record it and just upload the raw footage to you, so you can do what you want to do and have it as a full-on episode on your channel.
Yeah, well, I've got like eight recordings in the backlog that need editing right now. So
Yeah.
Well, what are you doing playing with cats?
No
You
shortage
need to get to work.
I've got no shortage of content. I wish he would help me with the editing. Then I'd get these videos uploaded faster.
Just play with the mouse. Boop, 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 boop. Editing done.
And at the end, you just put directed by and put the cat's name. And
With a little meow.
Yeah, aren't we going to make Cholera an X-Files CCG card? That's the plan, right?
Yeah. An
in the
equipment.
Queequeg.
It should be an equipment card, yeah.
Well, this cat already is a bluff card in one of my little mini expansions, so he's already got his card.
I don't know. By the look of those claws, he should be an equipment
Yeah,
Oh,
weapon.
and that's
he needs to get his cat trimmed.
Keyword special.
It's a
Nice.
keyword weapon.
Nice. Queequeg made it in the deck tonight, Steven.
Was he supposed? I think I saw that. Was he supposed to be conspiracy fodder?
Oh, more or less, yeah.
Yes.
I also, there's a chance his game effect will matter on the adversary, but yeah, mostly conspiracy fodder.
Yep. Oh man, I've got so many games coming up for the next few recordings where I lose. So it's like I had a nice little streak going on, winning streak on the channel, and then now I've got a whole bunch of episodes where I'm like, oh, I don't come out with the win on this one for a change. But
You're just in a slump. They'll come back.
yeah. No, I won last night, but
Yeah, you
that
won
was
last
that was
That
that
was
was the narrowest of victories.
That was
You're not a penalty question, and it's not my preferred brand of winning, Guillaume. You had to put me in
if it makes you feel any better, we can record the ending again, and I could just say the swarm.
and say
And
you guess it right. And I'll be like, yeah, it was Lucas Henry, actually. You were correct. No,
all right, guys. I got to wrap it up.
Yeah.
All this talk about horror movies. Now I'm all.
No, I
spooked,
wanna
and
watch a horror
Something's
movie.
going on at my front door. I don't know if the cat is outside trying to get in or what.
I'm going to try to watch one and fall asleep on the couch after 20 minutes. That's
Which
how
one you
tonight's
watching?
going to go.
which one you gonna
I'll probably put the thing on, honestly.
You should too, Guillaume. Watch The Thing. Let us know what you think of it.
all right, I will.
All right, guys.
Yes, thank you for dropping in, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Have a good-
Nathan, the great game, Guillaume helping us out. Stephen, always great to have you here. Again, Alien Investigations channel. Do it. Subscribe.
Please.
Gentlemen, we'll see
Good
you
times.
on Saturday.
Yeah.
Right. Good night, guys.
Peace.
Good night.